If you guys remember the last time, I got a couple of guys together. One being this one, the other one being this Coyote guy right here. They were going to settle a little debate, LS, LT, and Coyote. Have you changed your mind yet?
We might line up in Small Tire, Kentucky.
You just look always so crossed arms. Always look so serious and mad.
I am mad.
What are you mad about?
I can't go into all the reasons I'm mad. I'm just mad at everything.
You're just mad at the world, right?
Yeah.
That's just like LT swapped the world.
Most Chevrolet
Well, that don't
guys,
make me mad.
most Chevrolet guys are always mad.
Well, like I said, you didn't realize the last time you two got together, something got started. So we're probably going to settle this today.
How's that?
Well, either one of the two, he's going to see the light of the LT world, or you're going to see the light of the Coyote world.
I mean, if I ain't showing people the light of the LT world yet, they just can't see. You know.
Well, let's go right here. He's still Coyote.
Not everybody wants to go fast.
Wait a minute. Now, you said you had some backup to prove this with the Coyote stuff.
I got it's over here.
Okay, so
He's gonna get into that sleeved block mess, ain't he?
Yeah, it's still stock block.
Stock blocks with sleeves.
stock.
That's a
Well, wait a
whole
minute.
debate in itself.
Yeah, everything starts out as a stock block.
I mean, Coyote stock block costs as much as a LS aftermarket block. So, in dollar per dollar, why do you even compare that?
His eyeballs are about to bug out over here after you said that.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll sit down here in a few minutes and we'll get this debate started. So, because I did promise everybody we would do this. This took us a while, but so because I know this one over here, he kept telling me, he said, "Oh, I'm gonna get some ammunition. We're gonna really sit down and I'm gonna lay it on him." So, you got your ammo?
You're gonna make me talk too much.
I don't care. Hey, look, I'm not gonna make you talk. This one right here is gonna make you talk.
$3,000 sleeves, $50 worth of rock block. Same end result.
Hey, Coyotes are $2,000 for sleeves. No rock block. I don't even know what it is because we don't need it.
Oh, 2,000, huh?
Yeah,
Is that installed?
yeah.
Oh, it must be a group buy.
You better get your thinking cap on. We're going to get right back to this. Now, you said you had some ammunition that she's going to fire at Jonathan and the Grubbworm.
Mm-hmm.
And I have an idea what it is, and we're going to go all the way back to a dig or die. No, Mr. Grubbworm was running a no prep race at dig or die. And what outrun him?
A nitrous Coyote. Not even turbo.
You want me to get the whiteboard so I can write all the excuses and reasons why that happened?
I don't think you got enough whiteboards.
Got enough whiteboards. Well, we're having fun poking with this. But we're going to talk about Coyote Motors, LSLT, small block Chevy, whatever you want to call it. Which is better?
Well, does better mean faster, cheaper, more reliable, less combine chains?
In general, all around. Combine chains. That was a shot at you.
More chains than brains.
Might be.
You two gonna have to go over here together. You killing me having to go back and forth here. One starts talking and then the other.
I mean, obviously, I think that the small block Chevy is the king. I mean, that's clearly been proven.
Since what, how long? How many years now?
Well, I mean, Dale Earnhardt proved that
Yeah.
decades ago.
Yeah.
So, everything else that's happened since then just, it's just kind of really don't matter.
Now, well,
Can't argue about Dale.
Dale was the man. But you did hear some of the Ford guys say, well, the LS come from Ford. What do you think? What do you think about that?
That's probably right. I don't run a LS. Small block Chevy do. LS is a generation.
Maybe I should reword this: Chevrolet versus Ford right here.
Well, I mean, if you look at it from that angle, Chevy did improve upon what Ford had at one point in time, But the Coyote engine, it's just, they took a couple of Honda engines and they welded them together, put a crankshaft for a V8 in it, and invented the Coyote. So
dual overhead cam.
Yeah, but then they put a timing chain on it, which kind of ruined that. At least the Honda had a timing belt.
2 miles worth of timing chain.
Mine's all factory.
You're all factory?
Yeah, I got factory chains, tensioners, everything.
Well, what's your thoughts on Coyote, LS, LT debate that's been going on forever now?
I think the good thing with the Coyote is you can use a lot of factory parts to make big power.
This is true.
Like stock crank will hold, obviously, it'll start having issues with really big power, but your average person ain't gonna make 2,500 horsepower in a street car.
And you said you had some ammo on that.
Yeah, it's green.
It's green. You got a video on that?
Yeah, we got some. We can find some.
You got a picture?
And there's a red fox body that's probably getting ready to be in the threes. Everybody says he had a fake time slip, which something probably could have triggered the beams, but I think it'll be fast enough to be in the threes.
And the small block Chevy defense versus the Coyote. Technology plays a big part.
Yeah, I think if that green Mustang had a small block Chevy slide under its hood, it'd probably show people a thing or two.
Well, there you go.
You don't know what you don't know.
That's true. You don't know till you try.
That's right.
Hey, but then you put it on the flip side. If a Grubbworm had a Coyote slid under its hood, you don't know if you don't know.
Coyote won't even fit under my hood.
You got a welder over there.
Welder and a torch, you can do anything. Well, let's go. Let's say, what if the Coyote was? Let's go all the way back to 1998, 99, 2000, early days of ALS. The LT1 was the 93, 4, 5 years. If you had a Coyote back then with the Chevrolet stuff, how would you compare that?
Well,
that's why I made the comment. I said technology has made a big difference.
Yeah, technology's everything. I mean, obviously, people in the 90s didn't have LT1s that run 680s at 215 mile per hour.
Right.
Because they didn't have the ability to tune their engine as well. They didn't have the technology even with tires. There's just so many advancements. The Coyote is the most current, performance Ford engine, we'll say.
Right.
So it just falls in line. You go buy a new Mustang, you get a Coyote, and all this technology's there. Whereas what we're running and doing, with the older engines, the Gen 1 or the LT, Gen 2 small block Chevy, is we have applied the modern fuel injection and, the advancements that have happened over the last 25 plus years. And it's proven that old engine is really a beast, and all the failures and all the shortcomings that everybody thought the LT1. What about your OptiSpark? It's OptiSpark. That's all anybody can say, And like an OptiSpark is a distributor. Small block Fords had one too, and so did a big block Chevy. Now if you make 2,300 plus horsepower like we're doing with a real stock block, not a sleeved one. That's where this is headed. I know is this Coyote sleeved mess. But the LT1 is it's a cast iron block the way the good Lord intended from GM. It comes out of Buick Roadmasters. There's a Cadillac version. Caprices. I mean, think about how many police cars has been on the road for just forever.
Well, man told me one time, said, Ford, Ford, fix it, repair daily. Do you know what it stands for spelled backwards?
I don't.
Driver returns on foot.
I've never returned on foot.
But yeah, we're poking a lot of fun, having fun with this. All right, now let's compare. Let's say, of course, obviously had LT1, LS1, LS2, 3, all the way up to LSX, everything now. If you brought the LS and it was created in today's technology, not looking at the LT stuff that we've got in the new Corvettes and Camaros, how would you compare that?
To the Coyote?
Yes.
Wait, before you compare it,
Oh
do
boy.
you want to pick up the head gaskets and everything from the LS when they spit them out about 1,200 horsepower?
I mean, if you're
Before
looking
you
for
make-
like somebody to flatter the LS, you're talking to the wrong person here.
Well, that's why I'm saying in general. That's why I'm saying in general. I'm just saying we're comparing. I know you're an LT guy, but I know you've messed with a lot of LS stuff over the years. I'm just talking about in general. Bring the LS into 2024 to compete with the Coyotes.
Well,
If it was created, today.
the LS and the new LT is basically the same thing. So, from a structural, cylinder head, bolt pattern, layout, design, bore size, bore spacing. I mean, it's the same thing. The new LT's got nice heads, especially for stock heads, which is an argument he made for the Coyote is, you can go super fast with a whole lot of stock parts. But what I think, and this is real talk, I think what makes the Coyote good, what makes the small block Chevy good is the ability to clamp head gasket. You've got an LS and it's got 4 bolts per cylinder, so you've got this big bore. Basically LS. Everybody wants to build one, wants to build a 427 because they like that number. I guess it's cool. They think they got a 63 vet, I guess, but or maybe a 69 vet, I should say. I don't know what they had in 63, but 427. It's a cool. It's a cool number for cubic inch Chevy engine. So everybody, LS7 was a 427. But anyway, you've got this big honking bore. And you've got these 4 bolts that's going to hold this head gasket down around each bore. There's only 10 of them if you count the sum of each bank. And then you've got this water, bolt hole, and you got water in here right between your bore. So if the head flexes, if people say head stud stretch, I don't really believe that. I think the head's flexing because they ain't got enough fasteners in it. So you've got a huge bore and water, and then a bolt. And it takes basically nothing for it to lift the head enough to push compression into the coolant. The head gasket pushes out. You got a blowed head gasket. You're, scraping the guardrail at the track because you just ran through your own water. And that's the life of an LS, I feel like. And the small block Chevy has 5 bolts around each hole, and they're right up at the hole. There's no water. There's no nothing between it. It's like you're clamping that gasket right at the chamber. So then you talk about the Coyote, and I don't know jack squat about Coyotes. I've never built one in my life, but it's a 4 bolt per cylinder design, right?
Yeah.
But I think what makes it better and what makes it hold up or hold a head gasket better is the bore spacing is surely a lot smaller, and the bore itself is a lot smaller. So now instead of the head being this long, it's this long. And there, if you squeezed everything together, now instead of it being 4.4 inches from bolt hole to bolt hole, it's 4 inches or 3.5 or whatever it is. So there's less gap between fasteners, so the head's going to be more rigid. And it's just common sense.
And they're heavy. You
So
got
you-
all the cams and everything on top of them, man.
So you got Gen 1, Gen 2, and Gen 3 Coyote.
So I'm making an argument for the Coyote versus the LS. Is what you asked me. How is the
Yeah.
LS
Oh, yeah.
compare?
Listen,
And
the LS head gasket thing though, that's always just blame the tuner. Always. That's all you gotta do.
Well, you can put top fuel hoops or something on it, some copper gaskets, and then you just
Send it.
blow something out the bottom
Yeah.
because they got them little rinky-dink 10mm main bolts that don't hold nothing.
People say LS don't blow
You have to
head
slide over. You're killing me here.
gasket. They say when LS blows head gasket, you just blame the tuner.
Yeah.
Well, it's parts failure can happen and not be the tuner's fault. So
The LS needs an aftermarket block. The Coyote needs sleeves. The LT1 needs $50 worth of rock block. You know, sleeve job. He said it was $2,000 on the group buy.
I got invoice proof.
$2,000 LS. You know, you're talking about dark block LSX something. I don't know if people seen the price of that here lately, but they're like $4,500 now or something.
Yep.
LT1.
LT1 or LT1?
Well, if you're Spanish, it's LT1.
Okay, just making sure.
LT1. There's people in the world that, you know, once you've gone fast with one, like I have, then people call you and they say, hey, I got an LT1 block and I'd really like to think that it goes in Grubbworm one day, so I'm going to bring it to you. It don't cost you nothing. So, $2,000, LS $4,500, LT1 delivered free of charge.
With the cheeseburgers come with that also?
That's how we afford the cheeseburgers.
Exactly.
We use craft singles, not the, you know, store brand.
So have we come to any conclusion here?
I think the LS is just the worst out of all three now.
The conclusion is I guess pretty much whatever platform you like, if that's what you're happy with, go with it, and how deep your pockets are.
You could say that, you know, it's whatever you like. That's a little bit funny, you know. It's kind of like Billy Bob online, you know. He built an LS with a BTRXYZ Stage 17, you know, and it made 1,497 horsepower, you know. So that's what I'm going to do. You know, that's the whole copycat, monkey see, monkey do.
Can't fall out of a tree.
Probably a lot of that in the Coyote world too. I don't really know, but when you get in the LT1 world, there's just one person.
And I'm looking at him, right?
Nobody else is crazy enough to even spend any money to build one.
The thing is, what everybody forgets about all these engines going fast. What makes them go fast? The car that they're in.
Well, that's why I said that green Mustang could slip an LT1 or a small block Chevy under the hood, and he'd still be super fast.
I think it's probably likewise with this. You could put Coyote in this, it'd probably be just as fast.
So what it comes down to is tuner, suspension, testing, time, you name it, you know, just experience, trial and error, whatever,
and just
sheer stupidity of continuing to spend more and more and more money
and put it out there like this,
and eventually you can make just about anything run fast.
Exactly. So now we're going to touch a little bit on Grubbworm is going to jump into the no prep world.
Yes.
That's why we're here.
Well, some people might be like scratching their heads saying, Grubbworm, no prep? There's no way. There's always a way. You just have to change a few things. Suspension, weight, the knowledge to know what tunes to put in it.
I'm glad you're going over this because a lot of those things I hadn't thought about yet.
That's why that's why this guy is here.
And long travel suspension.
So I'm not going to be changing my suspension travel. I'm hoping that I can just outrun all these people on sheer power management.
That's a lot of power to manage.
So you were saying if you got
I was saying when you got a lot of power, you can do a lot of managing of it. So we're planning on doing a lot of power management.
How do you feel about stepping into the no prep?
I don't want to wreck my car, you know, so that's a little, you know, nerve-wracking. But I mean, I think we can do good despite our dig or die attempt a couple of years ago that some people want to poke at a little bit. You know, that's all right. I can take it. We went to dig or die and you know, we learned about some issues. I'm not going to get the chalkboard or the whiteboard for all my excuses, but I'll lay a few of them out here.
But look, you couldn't turn the car down enough, pretty much.
Basically, you know, we like to go fast. No prep guys, they don't generally like to go very fast. They like to spin their tires. You know, so everybody likes what they like. You know, just like some guy likes an LS engine, even though it's slow. And some guy likes the Coyote engine because of a green Mustang. You know, hey, he's made it fast. Maybe I will be fast one day. You know, that's everybody likes what they like. Some people like to go fast. Some people like to do burnouts. You know, but I think we can do good. We went to Digger Die a couple of years ago. We lost to a Coyote. I think it was bone stock. He may have had 30-day tags on it. He probably had run flat tires or something. I don't know.
Drove it off the dealer lot and outrun Grubbworm. Well, I mean, what better bragging rights could you have? But anyway.
He outrun me because we stalled out on the start line. We was trying to turn the car down to make it do something that we'd never turned it down that much because we'd never been that slow, you know. And what
insert video here.
What we learned at that event was, you know, aside from stalling it out on the start line, trying to, you know, baby it off the line or whatever we was trying to do. But the previous pass, I think we had a bye the first round of that race. So we looked up, you know, somehow got the bye. So we had a free pass to you know, make a pass. And on that pass, Boost ran away. You know, we didn't know that going into it because the lowest we'd probably ever turn this car down would be like 35 pounds. You know, we run 60 pounds, you know, on a good track. So we get out there, you know, we're trying to do this little, you know, whatever, 20 pound of boost, 15, 20, whatever, you know, we think the road's going to take. And as soon as the RPM gets up, 30, 35 pound boost because wastegates weren't big enough to turn it down that low. So we just done terrible. We had tires that had been, you know, sitting in the storage building for a couple of years because we had swapped the radials and we thought, well, we need a slick, but I didn't want to buy slicks. I had a set of old rotten Mickey Thompsons, and so that's what we put on it. But we're going to go to this race and probably try a little bit harder. We got bigger wastegates on the car now, so I'm hoping that boost can be regulated better now. So we'll see. I think we can do decent.
So you're telling me a Coyote guy and a Chevy guy is getting together on no prep?
Hopefully this Coyote guy here will help me out a little bit with some of the stuff you just mentioned. Some of this suspension and travel and what else did you talk about besides power?
Weight. I mean, okay.
Yeah.
We got to start taking the doors off, the fenders, the hood.
Whoa, no, we're not talking about small tire. We're talking just no prep stick shift, not small tire.
When you live in the world I live in with the small block Chevy, it's just power all day, every day. You know, to think about having to turn this thing down like 40 pounds of boost just so I can go out there and race some stock block LSs and Coyotes is kind of, you know, disheartening, you know, because we're going to go slow.
Serious question. If you were still stick shifting your car and you found out, hey, Grubbworm's coming to no prep world, would you call him out first round?
Probably.
Why? No, I'm being serious. I mean,
Where's
just
the best chance to get him out of his element. I mean,
and you're exactly right. You're exactly right.
Internet clout.
Well, you're exactly right though, because you're like, well, if he gets a pass or two in and gets around for, you know, through the first, second round, he's got data.
There's some stick shift no prep group chats, man. Still, and this guy got in there the other day, and he was like, "Well, y'all just lost half the cars in the field," and I was like, "If you lose half the cars in the field just because he's showing up because he runs six whatever on radial prep, you're racing for the wrong reason." I said, "You should show up and want to beat him."
Right.
That will help you better.
And that's not a cheap shot at you. I mean, you know how this works.
Anybody that knows anything is going to know that we're bringing a bazooka to a knife fight.
Yeah.
That's like if Brett LaSalle come to small tire no prep at Wilkesboro or Mooresville, Farmington, didn't matter. I'd call him out first pair down. I beat Brett LaSalle. I mean, that's the thing.
Because you know, if he got through first round, said, hey, this is the data, this is what we got to adjust. This is what we're going out second round with. It's probably going to be hard to beat then.
Best chance to get him.
The guys that have been winning these races, you know, whoever they may be, you know, I don't follow no prep. I haven't kept up with it. I don't know anybody. I don't know anything about it. I don't know how fast they run. I don't know nothing about it. But the guys that have been winning the races are still going to be the guys, you know, the favorite to win this one. You know, it's not going to be me just because I make 2,300 horsepower, you know, because we're not going to use that. You know, we're going to go out there. Hopefully not untested. You know, we're going to go somewhere and test.
I know a spot. I know a guy.
You know, but we should be somewhat prepared, but we're not prepared like the guys that have been winning the races. So, You know, we're not going to run anybody off. I don't feel like, you know, if I could go a couple of rounds, I would be tickled to death.
I mean, hindsight's 20/20. You don't want to tell everybody, you know, hey, this is what we do to win this class, or this is what we do to win that class. But everybody had to start somewhere and learn. So I can see some guys not wanting you to know how to do it, and I can see some guys that already watch you want to see you progress in your racing program.
Yeah. Well, the no prep stuff is just, you know, it's an opportunity to do something different that's more local. You know, the Kentucky race is not exactly local, but it's 5.5 hour drive, you know, so that's not bad. Otherwise, you know, there's like 4 races a year that we can race, you know,
right.
where, you know, the caliber of car or what we are, you know, racing the Grannis, Coleman, you know, all these cars that are, you know, in our category, there's not many of them. So there's not many races. And we can fill the void through the summer months, you know, with some no prep stuff. And, you know, the enticement to go to this event in particular, and what's made me do this, is it's got a serious payout.
Right.
You know, and this goes without saying, but any no prep or any type of racing you do, if you make the payout good enough and big enough,
they'll show up.
You're going to make some people show up that probably wouldn't have otherwise. And, you know, that's where we are right now. You know, 15,000 to win. You know, we can go test a couple of weekends, couple of weeks before this event, you know, and get something halfway figured out. You know, we got the power. We just got to get it off the line. So that's the work and the suspension and all that. You know, we got our work cut out for us.
I'm going to throw this in there if you're okay with it. It's kind of funny that this one right here, as many years as we've known each other, you've basically watched this one grow up.
Yeah.
And I know there's been times that you have been at the shop and helped him tune and showing him some tuning stuff. And now this one is looking to give you pointers.
Well, that's good. That's what
that's what we was talking about. I mean, you're stepping into kind of his world now.
I do what I do, and he does what he does, and now I'm going to try to do what he does. So any advice that you guys can give me, you know, I'm all ears.
Well, it's like I said, you know, of as many years as we've known each other, I mean, you've always been the same to us, and always been right to us. So, you know, I'll say it now on camera. I told you a minute ago, I said, whatever you do, we've got your back. I mean, if this is what you want to do and we can help you.
We're going to use some whiskey resin up there too.
There you go.
Yeah.
We're willing to help you. So
I appreciate it. You know, all the help that I can get, you know, with the no prep stuff. I mean, I'm pretty clueless at this point. So we'll do some testing, some trial and error, and figure this thing out.
I got a road.
He gonna learn today, ain't he?
I just got back from Texas, man. I don't want to go all the way back.
Back to Tijuana. Well, I guess we can say we sort of settled the little debate there. I know we might have got a little off subject to the no prep, but, you know, we did want to touch on it a little bit to kind of let people know where you may be headed in the direction with Grubbworm anyway. Like I said, for looking for several more races.
If you figure it out, you can run small tire with it. I mean, it's fast enough to run small
Oh,
tire.
yeah.
Prep.
You see a stick shift car jumping in a small tire and...
Yeah, we signed up for small tire at this event and stick. So, you know, I was hoping that there would be a class before stick, and it would be sort of a really expensive test pass. But
been there, done that.
But either way, you know, stick is the first class, which is tough. You know, I tried to con that guy into changing the run order. He wasn't having it. You know, I was like, why don't you put big tire first? You know, the car that's got the least or the most traction should go down on the slickest surface.
Should.
You know, I feel like that would be the logical thing to do. And, you know, if stick is the show, you know, that's the show piece of this event. You know, it's in their title of their event. The biggest stick shift race ever in the world or something, you know. If that's the case, grand finale. Stick to the back. You know, stick finishes the show. You know, that's
Coyotes to the back.
Yeah, but I get there where it come from too, though, because You'd go up there and draw first chip out. You could have a 9-second Honda draw first chip out with this car and could win. I mean,
What do you think of that one?
first pair. I mean, that's the
But
worst time.
it is what it is. We signed up for small tire anyway. If I go out and stick, it'll at least be a pass. Some data, and like Robbie said, we've got enough power to run with small tire cars, more than enough.
Yeah.
And something that a lot of people don't probably think or probably would never accept. But a stick car can wreck all of that, I think.
Or you might start something new.
A
You
stick
could go
car.
to, like the Carolina Cash Days races, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't think this is going to happen with us at this first race, obviously. But I think a well sorted out stick car would run out of the lives of the other small tire cars.
You just probably got yourself called out 100 times and ain't seen it yet. But anyway. But I mean, yeah, we're joking, poking fun, but you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Automatic cars got a torque converter.
Yeah.
You might have a bolt together torque converter, and they might go out there and they might make a pass and make changes and adjustments or whatever on site. I don't know. I don't race an automatic, but with the stick car and the clutch, it's an infinite amount of adjustability. We can control how aggressive the clutch comes in, when it comes in, how much it slips down track. There's so much adjustment that you can roll right under this car. You can change things without disassembling anything in a matter of minutes. We can go from too tight to way too loose to anywhere in between. And it's just way more tunable. It's way more work. It's way more maintenance. It's probably way more expensive. But
At the end of the day, you can get it done.
It'll be the combination to beat once it's figured out. And I believe that firmly.
Firmly. Anything you want to add to this? And
Glad to see it.
glad to see it.
Yeah.
You two beat all ever seen. These two together, I mean, it's just something else. But Jonathan, appreciate your time.
My time's not appreciated.
Your time is very appreciated, more than you'll ever know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with this. And I think you're probably on to a couple things right there. So
We'll see. We can talk about it all day, but going out there and doing it's
that's
what it comes
the
down
difference.
to.
That's
So.
the difference. But guys, hope you enjoyed it. Be watching out for this Coyote guy, the LT guy. Radial prep, no prep, kind of together here. Man, that's combustible. I don't know what you want to call it right there, but it's going to get interesting. Appreciate you watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.